It is week 16. They have made Battle Royale smaller to the point that there's only $30,000 to first this week, but that's okay because I'm going to keep drafting until my fingers go numb. We are going to find a winner one of these weeks. It might be this week. I'll be joined by Mr. Nerdy Tenor and Mr. Brian Hooper as we run the Sims and try and find the winner here in week 16. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer. Well, guys, I was about to say we're running out of time, but we're going to have, primetime paloozas for the playoffs. There's actually plenty of time to find a winner. And I beat Peter last week. I was Brian, you'll be very happy to know this. Me being a homer who wears a shirt with another man's name on the back cost me a good I suppose $4,500 last week. I finished 31st in the main BR.
Ugh.
But if this Travis Kelce performance was Sam Laporta, I would have finished 4th in the main BR.
Wow.
Instead
do you
of
blame your jersey love or do you blame Taylor Swift?
I blame Michael Leone. If Michael Leone just projected Travis Kelce for fewer points.
Yeah, and Kyler Murray.
And Kyler Murray, sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what else I could have done. And in fact, I might have to go back and check the tape, Dan. This might have been one we drafted together.
Oh, really?
I think there's a good chance.
Because you generally don't like to draft James Conner, so that's a tell.
Connor is fine. I don't think I took Devontae Adams very much.
It does look like one of our lineups.
I don't want to say 100% because also I'm kind of mimicking what we do on these shows once we get off. Like Connor would be a good example. Chuba Hubbard 2 weeks ago. Adams, I probably would not have taken it all before we did the show. And then probably after I maybe would have clicked a little bit. But if I didn't take it actually on the show, then it's high probability we did it because of your Sims. So look, we're heading in the right direction.
Sweet.
Davis, have you done a Beautiful Mind for the thumbnail yet?
No, that week 17 we'll do a Beautiful Mind. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I just Googled famous spy movies, and Benedict Cumberbatch and Dan, kind of in an alternate reality, you could see them being cousins. And then a guy from Pete's Discord photoshopped my face onto the chick behind him in the movie. So that is the thumbnail for today. I think last week was probably my best. I think Dan in Casino Royale, Battle Royale, it just works. It just works too perfectly. And then Pete made fun of my thumbnail. Did you catch this, Brian? Pete was mocking my titles for these videos last week. So now I went back the other way on him. The Underdog DFS sleeper she told you not to worry about. So I went back on him this week, just did a very normal one this week.
That's a good title. I like it.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty good. I mean, Peter, he always stays one step ahead. Do you have any sweats last week, Dan?
No, I think I drafted a grand total of 11 teams. 4 were in the 12-man and 7 in the main. I think I got $35 in the 12-man back. But yeah, I didn't have much time for drafting.
Did you draft any, Brian?
I didn't. I did not.
All right, we're gonna have to get you in for the paloozas. I feel like Dan. I don't know why. I think you are gonna ship one of the playoff primetime paloozas. It just fits your stuff too good. And let me tell you, in a playoff slate, no one is gonna want to play Bo Nix. No one is gonna want AFC Conference Championship or Conference Championship week. No one's going to want who the fourth quarterback is. I feel like it just sets up very well for your
Well,
stuff.
I think I need two things to happen to win one of those. Number one, I need to have the time and inclination to draft a bunch of teams.
Yeah.
And then the chalky quarterbacks need to fail.
Have to stink. Yep.
Yeah. Or just not be great. Just not crush.
So I just went through last week's stream really quick. We did not draft that team, Davis. It's all you, buddy.
Okay. All right. So people can't say that my best to this point finish is all Dan. It's definitely influenced by Dan, but definitely not all Dan. So
damn it, Brian, you shouldn't have said anything.
Well, I mean, look, I'll just be the way that I draft. I mean, I've drafted about 45 teams already this week, maybe a little bit more. I mean, I basically know I could do it with my eyes closed at this point. There are such obvious picks this week. So what I need but I don't want to draft 300 of the same team. Then I'm just doing best ball season all over again. So what I would instead prefer is for you to get me woke to some of the inefficiencies in the market. Dan, we are doing this 24 hours early. Can you explain what is different about what we're doing this week?
So we have two separate builds. First one is just based off of 2 out of 5 projection sources that I use that happen to be available now. I'm not sure how fully cooked they are and adjusted they are. Probably not very. So we'll probably see some weird things. And then for the second build, we have Brian's ADP fitting method, where he looked at the existing ADPs and then fit the projections to match those. So I'm looking at both right now, and the one thing about the fitting method is that it will get you the suggestions roughly in draft order at each position, but the relation between positions will be a little off. So we'll have to just adjust those. So for instance, that build is doing a small but not zero portion of double tight end builds, whereas the other has basically 0, and some other minor differences. However, interesting of note this week, looks like as of right now, the 3 receiver build is a little more viable than usual. Yeah, which I find interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting because that just was not my my inclination based off drafting these. Brian, do you have anything to say about your ADP regression model before we begin?
We're still dialing her in. Sounds like the tight ends need to be changed now. I'm trying to do that. Right.
All right. Well,
yeah, I mean, we could probably just ignore it. Yeah.
Was the wide receivers too high too, Dan? The wide receiver?
Well, a little bit more than the other. I think roughly 20 versus 15, I think.
It might be, another, since I did make some changes, but another issue that could be going on is in the ADP method, and there's really nothing you can do about this if you're going to try to attempt this, is the ADPs are they're not granular enough. So like, what's the difference between 35.8 and 35.9? Well, in a regression model, it's not going to be very much, but in this, it might actually be like a tight end might actually be projected for 9.3 instead of the other guy who's at 8.1 or something.
Yeah.
But you can't really tell that from 35.2 to 35.7.
Sure.
And so down there, a lot of those guys all have the same projection essentially. Right. And that's screwing it up,
yeah, it could be.
Yeah. We could average it actually. We could do like 20% underdogs projection.
Oh,
80% ADP. I don't really like the Underdog's projections, but
I could try that and see what happens.
I could put it right at it. I have the info on it. So, but we could just let it run for what we have now and just see what it does.
Yeah. Okay. Which of these two do we want to do first, Davis?
Let's just see. Let's do the ETR, or not ETR, the Roto Grinders Blitz baseline, and just see what it gives us.
I detected a strong Chuba Hubbard bent from one of those.
Well, that is going to be reflected by Michael Leone and 4 dudes over at Establish the Run as well. He's going to project for a lot of points.
Another stinker, Chuba last week.
Well, you know, sometimes you just got to be woke. I will say the field is making the same obvious mistake that they made last week with Chase Brown not being a first round pick. I mean, I don't know what he would have to do. He is averaging the most fantasy points of any player in football since Zach Moss went on IR. So we've got that going for us. I will not be taking Chuba Hubbard over Chase Brown if the sim wants us to do that.
One thing to note: one of these projection sources has Penix, and the other does not. Right? No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably just didn't update fully. Yeah, I just noticed that.
Yeah, Penix is in, right? The news.
Yeah, I think
he
so.
is. Yeah, and he's certainly clickable in the 12-man. So
if it says Cousins, just assume Penix then.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, the problem is it's going to be half and half, so it's going to both are bad.
Yeah.
So I can pause it and adjust it, and it'll start to correct. I could just double the Penix projection. I can do it that way.
Sure, why not?
Yeah,
I'll fix it in one of them after this draft.
Yeah. All right, we have the 104. No Patrick Barnes YouTube yet. We're drafting on a different day.
He just got his notification.
No, buddy. We're drafting on a different day.
He just dropped his baby out of his arms.
Thursday is his day, supposedly.
Well, we are about to find.
Did you guys see I beat him in BBM 3 or whatever this is? 5?
BBM 5.
Oh, really?
You shipped it over. You have a team alive, Brian?
Nah, I got second.
But what about the team that you thought advanced but didn't?
What a heartbreaking loss that was.
Does it want Jamar Chase?
It is saying so far we have Puka, Chase Brown, Bijan Robinson. It likes Puka the best.
Can't say no there. I love that. I love that now the projections are woke to Chase Brown. It only took 6 weeks, but they did eventually get woke.
You have any teams left, Davis?
I have a bunch in the side contests. None in
the main one.
None. I have one DraftKings Millie left.
All it takes is one. Did you know that?
That is what I've heard. All right, this guy takes Chase Brown.
Yes, he should.
I'm going to guess it wants Chuba.
It likes Brock Bowers and Chuba Hubbard the most right now.
Now, did you tell the sim that Kyler Murray tweeted that they're going to get Trey McBride a touchdown? I can't
say that I remembered to do that. I'm very sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, it's worth
he tweeted he's getting Trey McBride the ball, huh?
No, he literally said we're gonna get 85 a touchdown.
All right.
So, I mean, get whatever your projection is plus 6 for the touchdown.
So if he doesn't get there, I can invoice Mr. Murray for my Sklansky bucks that I didn't get.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. I have to find his address.
Yeah, where are we at, Brian? I don't know. Have you been in touch with RFK's office about when we can start officially converting our Sklans?
Yes. January 20th.
Okay, all right. Because the only thing I've gotten is that Pop-Tarts are illegal. He sent me that. Yeah. So
I'm gonna try sending my Sklansky bucks in to pay my tax liabilities this year. See how that.
You'll be okay. You'll be good.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, we've got word. We've got word that's that's all straightforward.
Yeah, fourth quarter estimated taxes. I'm gonna send some underdog slips. Look at these teams.
The liberals are gonna hate when they get paid out in Sklansky bucks, Davis.
They are. They don't even know. There are people who are deep in the gambling streets who are so young now they don't even know what a Sklansky buck is.
That's true. I was thinking about something if you guys would know, not you, Dan, but Peter.
It's gonna be Hubbard.
Yeah, so Hubbard's gonna pop early on the time. You can take Hubbard now. You could take Aaron Jones if you don't. Want Hubbard.
I'll take Hubbard.
We're following.
We're following the Wednesday unadjusted Cardi deranged numbers. If you're 24 and you do know what a Sklansky buck is, you've probably you've probably done a lot of gambling, probably some underage gambling.
You've probably never spoken to a woman in real life.
Ben says he doesn't know what a Sklansky buck is, so he probably has spoken to a woman.
It's better that you don't, Ben.
Yeah. I hope the computer wants AJ Brown.
Just know that you'll be able to spend it January 20th.
No, it's saying Garendo, Taylor, and Jones. It wants to run.
All right. That. Well, so good, kind of a good news, bad news situation here. Okay. I've already drafted this exact team 10 times.
Oh, really?
So the bad news though is that this means that when all the ETR people and the projection people start drafting, I'm not going to be able to get the guys I like anymore.
Uh-huh.
The team I've drafted 15 times, 20 times already. I don't even know how, because I've been doing some of these side contests. I do Chase, Jefferson, any running quarterback, choose your own adventure, Garendo, Jennings to end.
Uh-huh.
I think I just found our exit plan, boys. Sklansky meme coin.
I was going to say, has anyone made, if no one has made a Sklansky Bucks meme coin on pump.fun yet, they're not even trying.
Yeah, I think we have to do one.
Is David even alive anymore? We should contact him.
You guys know it's been my childhood dream to pump and dump a meme coin, right?
I did
Ever since I was a small child, I always wanted to pump and dump.
You take no pleasure in it.
I take no pleasure in it, but it was my childhood dream.
Okay, Jacoby Myers and Cooper Kupp.
Who does it have next after that?
Neighbors.
We're getting to Davis.
Well, you don't want
Davis
Kupp.
Pivot.
You know what? No, whatever. We'll do it. We'll do one. I don't think we super want a ton of this.
Now we got to Stafford it up.
Yeah. Matting it up, huh?
Now, keep in mind, Brian, that Dan's stuff is not he trims guys out for sake of simplicity and cooking properly. Like, Dan, you probably don't even have, like, DJ Moore is probably not even in your computer.
Well, I'll see. So I'll just lift the hood a little bit after we see how much it wants.
Yeah, I want to see if it takes Stafford. It's got it, right?
Oh, yeah, it's not close.
Yeah.
It's by a huge margin.
Okay.
Stafford, then a huge jump, and then Richardson.
And what's our EV?
$17.50.
Yes.
Wow, $10 on the first team. All right, so we are all at least getting a McDouble, right? What's a McDouble cost?
Are we gonna upgrade from McNuggets today? We might eat.
Well, the last time I ate McDonald's was in the airport on the way to New York, where I am now, for the Egg McMuffin value meal, which cost, I think, $10.52 or something in the airport.
No, it's 120. Breakfast is closed. The kitchen. We gotta.
By the way, David Sklansky is alive.
Yeah.
Secondary, by the way, there is a woke David Sklansky.
Oh no.
Stanford Criminal Justice Center. Brian, how much? Imagine you meet this guy.
How do you know he's woke?
He's a Stanford. He wrote a book called Criminal Justice in America. Criminal Justice in Divided America, Police Punishment and the Future of Our Democracy.
He got his BA from Berkeley, so he is probably woke, but Stanford's pretty conservative.
Not by your standards, buddy.
No, well, I mean the Hoover Institute is pretty conservative. Not conservative, but you know what I mean.
Without
economics based.
Without the loud keyboard or the piano background music, instead you get Dan with the world's smallest coffee cup. He's drinking the world's smallest coffee cup. It is very cute and very Christmas themed, to be fair.
Well, I mean, I'm only 1,000 miles away from the piano you usually hear, so.
I bet you're closer than 1,000 miles to a piano.
No, to the one you usually hear.
I
think my dad has an electric piano somewhere in this place, but I don't know.
I think we can all get bacon McDoubles though so far.
I agree. Do you
Although
think David
exciting thing
Sklansky,
for me, go ahead. Yeah.
do you think David Sklansky would do the Take Cast? Does he come on podcasts? That would be
the problem is, has he really been doing podcasts since his little controversy with that girl?
Oh, I didn't know. I don't know
about this
got
controversy.
canceled. Yeah.
There was some girl in the poker world who was younger, like probably 15, 20, at least years younger than him, who was kind of like, sugar daddy-ish a little bit with some of the poker dudes in Vegas. And she killed herself.
God.
So I might be getting this. Don't sue us, don't dupe us. Entertainment purposes only. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think she did. And then there was a big controversy on 2+2, how he treated her, and like some emails came out that were pretty weird about like his relationship with her.
I googled David Sklansky canceled, and I got nothing.
I mean, homeboy's good at the computer, right?
I met him once in Vegas in an old 2+2 forum meetup. You can imagine such a thing. Yeah. And
the most recent Poker News article about him is about him selling his bracelets.
Brandy Hallbacker.
Selling his bracelets. That sounds like the most David Sklansky thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And he said his bracelet should be worth more because of his name on it.
I think David that was her name. Brandy Hallbacker.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to do more research into if I can legally invite David Sklansky onto the Take Cast, but that would be quite the moment. Did we interrupted Dan in the middle of a train of thought, so we should.
No, it's okay. I was going to say I fixed Penix, so they both have the same projection in both.
Projection.
Now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Draft one went well. I think we do this again, but I am not going to. I'm not going to double stack Matt Stafford this time. We are drafting out of the 5 hole again, but we're not going to take Cooper Kupp if we take.
Weren't we 4th last time? We were 4th last time.
Yeah, but it's going to want Puka again.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Actually, when I let that cook a little longer, I think it got to Bijan Robinson at the end.
Okay.
So it must be close.
Yeah, I put a link in chat. Sulfur Y did a pod on it. Yeah, whatever. That was 2008, man. Time fucking flies.
Dude.
Jesus Christ, 2008. Dan, were you in the live final last week, Dan?
No.
Wow, Tyler just rubbing it in.
I spent a couple $100 on qualifiers, and
That's probably still too much in my opinion. And like, unless your name's Shady Advice, then you do it every single one. But I saw like the ETR guys' results, and it's like, man, you got whatever place for $25K. It's like, ugh, all that.
Good marketing, though.
I think I don't know if I mentioned it on this show, but I had. So the only sport I put a lot of effort into getting tickets is baseball. And I had 2 tickets to DraftKings and 2 to FanDuel. And on DraftKings, I got like, out of 100, I got like 92nd and 99th. And then on FanDuel, I got like 71st and 83rd. So it is the most volatile way to play fantasy. Because you got to win the ticket, and then if you don't get a big payday, it's like it wants Bijan Robinson this time.
We're gonna override the computer for the first time. Sorry.
You can take Chase Brown instead.
We're gonna take Justin Jefferson because we're not gonna get him unless we do this. And I'm curious for my own purposes when we have Jefferson, how much it wants me to take Darnold, because I will be drafting him a lot on my own.
Justin Jefferson was listed 5th at this spot, so can't be that bad, right? Right?
Can't be that good. Can't be that good, probably. But there's an old saying: you got to dance with the girl you brought. And Justin Jefferson has done a lot for me in my life, so we're gonna keep dancing with him.
Very good. There's Chase
Fat Lamar, no Badger in between us.
You gotta feel bad for Wiggins too, huh? With he had 5 entries.
Yeah, and he played good too. He played Chase Brown on every one.
Oh wow!
Okay,
his highest I think that was 100K.
Puka and Bijan, Trey McBride are the top contenders at the moment.
This will be more combinatorially unique. Puka.
Which one did you click? I wasn't even looking.
Puka.
Puka? Okay.
Yeah. This one will be weirder, and I can already pencil in our next 2 picks as well. It will want Chuba Hubbard and Isaac Urendo. Both of which are good picks.
Like a good bet.
I don't know if we could do it, but would an overlay on this page be interesting, Davis? Like right to the right of the table there?
What would the overlay consist of?
I was thinking the matrix of your most correlated pieces with whoever you just drafted. So like Jefferson, and then it would be, here's his top 3 percentages. Bijan.
Well, McBride, what would be unreal, and I don't even know if this would be possible, but to literally display the combinatorial ownership of the players on each team.
Oh.
So it tells I have Puka and Jefferson, so it displays some sort of like this combo is 33% owned, this combo is 5% owned, this combo is 2% owned.
Post.
Yeah.
But I imagine the vast majority of lineups after about 4 rounds would all be like super, super low.
So maybe you just do it for the first 2 picks, or I don't know. There's a way that makes sense.
No, I understand. I don't know how useful it is, but
I was gonna say a way to make that useful is what I'm saying.
Well, I guess you could make, like, if you're like really high, you could go like, okay, I gotta do something different here.
Well, I'm always really high, so there's
right. That's what I meant physically.
Yeah.
That's why that glass is actually normal size. We're all just fucking stoned.
You're just stoned off your mind, out of your mind. Okay, here we go.
We call this the Chuba round.
So, Kittle.
Kittle
is winning at the moment. Kittle and Chuba. I would take Kittle first.
Take Kittle, yeah. Whenever it's different, I like that.
Yeah.
Because maybe there's something going on.
Yeah. And now the question is, do you take Chuba with your next pick, assuming it's available? Or do you roll the dice and wait even more? Because I'm assuming then you just take him. Yeah.
Well, Miles, the reason why you like the playoff drafts less and less is you've done 100 of them by now, and the field is getting better at it.
So, just out of curiosity, it likes Chuba the most, but right behind, well, not right behind. After that, it's T. Higgins, but it likes Chuba a good bit more.
If we wanted T. Higgins, we should not have already taken 2 wide receivers.
Right, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do like wide receivers this week, Davis.
A little bit more than usual.
I don't, dude. It's last week, week 15 was Slappy week, Brian. I don't know if you heard week.
You do 147 other drafts. Can you not for 3 fucking drafts do what the computer does?
Sure. The computer wanted. I was going to say the computer wanted Chuba.
Yeah.
I know. But if it didn't.
Now I am curious. Does it want Stafford? Does it want Darnold? Does it want? It's probably gonna want Purdy. But I am regardless. This is the stuff I like to figure out. That for my own purposes. This was the point I was trying to make. Week 15 was Slappy week. Week 16, it's back to Boomer ball. It's running backs. Who's the whitest, most conservative quarterback? Trying to think.
The most basic white guy QB.
Who is the most mega quarterback in the National Football League?
Mega? What does mega mean?
Just most boomer. Lamar. Josh Allen. Josh
Flacco?
Allen might be the boomer.
Flacco?
Yeah.
Flacco is definitely
No. Goff. No, Goff is from California. Goff's from California. No.
Yeah.
How about Matt?
Stafford is also from California. You don't think of it, but he is. Rodgers doesn't count.
When Stafford's wife on that podcast talking about banging his backup quarterback in college, it's instant divorce. Stafford, what are you doing? Can't now. I hate that first team. Now that I think about it, no way that team wins.
I don't know anything about Sam Darnold the person. Like literally, I couldn't tell you where he was born. I couldn't tell you anything about. I mean, I know where he went to college. That's literally it. Yeah, he's born in California. He's not a boomer.
We're not taking a quarterback here.
Correct.
So it's saying Jonathan Taylor and then Neighbors.
Can I get another name?
After that, Brian Robinson Jr., then Aaron Jones.
I'm taking Brian Robinson Jr.
Okay.
If we could pick any quarterback, Joe Namath. He's like the boomers.
No, Brett Favre. Brett Favre is the number one.
Not for boomers.
Okay,
that's more Gen X.
I'm already cooking the quarterback, and it looks like it's pretty close. So this is one where I would do whatever the ownership says. Right now, Darnold is winning.
Well, Darnold and Purdy will both be comparably low owned, but combinatorially, these are insanely high combos. Like
it's got Darnold, Daniels, and Purdy at the moment.
We'll do. Well, so this is the stuff I think about, Brian. Darnold will be about 40% owned. Purdy will be about 40% owned. But their combinatorial ownership with Kittle and with Jefferson, insanely high. Like the rate at which Darnold is drafted with Jefferson, it'll be like 90% of the time Darnold is drafted, it'll be with Jefferson. So you pick up a ton of uniqueness when you take Jefferson. Like if you were to do Darnold Addison or Jefferson Anthony Richardson, you're just in a much better part of the damn. I was gonna say game tree. I've been trying to work node in. Yeah, I took Darnold.
Okay. So it ended up with $13.49 there.
This is the main battle royale, Ben. Advancing in the eliminator by 0.5. Shout out to you, Austin.
I'm going to let my sim cook for a minute. I have to hit the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
All right.
Brian, I'm now monetized on Twitch.
I saw your tweet or saw whatever you post somewhere. How many followers you got on there?
Like 130 or something.
That's what I got, like 138. Man, Twitch is brutal.
Twitch is very difficult. I am gonna my plan is in the off season, which there isn't really one, but theoretically there is. I'm gonna stream video games. I'm gonna get the Elgato, I think, and play NCAA 25 or whatever.
Oh, really?
On Twitch. Yeah, why not?
Nice. Maybe we should stream together then.
Yeah, people would love that, I'm sure. But it feels like there's value in, I don't know. I apparently what people say is it's much harder to grow on Twitch, like much, much harder. YouTube just has much more built-in growth potential if you're consistently posting and,
especially for our content type of style, doesn't seem to do too hot on Twitch.
No, you've got to have like a tagged game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or lib politics.
Lib politics is big on Twitch.
It's where Hassan is and Hutch and.
Well, maybe I could just go full lib and just be like, Kamala did nothing
you're too
wrong.
Conservative now. I've ruined you. You're way too conservative.
Kamala did nothing wrong, and I'd go to the number one in the algorithm.
Kamala ran a perfect campaign. See, that's not liberal, dude. Liberals hate Kamala, right? Not liberal enough.
As Desert Fox is saying, stream fantasy football from a hot tub and Speedos.
I have a hot tub right here. Should we do it? Probably wouldn't get that many views.
Probably not, but you never know. Brian, you said you do have a team left? No teams left at all?
No. I didn't do that many teams, but yeah, I was point out took second. I had Keenan Allen too, and Cole Kmet. Did Cole Kmet play?
He did play. Yes, correct. Yeah, Twitch's algo doesn't feed you new stuff. It feeds you what's popular, it feeds you what's big already. You kind of have to have a following to port over.
Yeah,
is sort of the way it works.
They put us under podcasts, or maybe I did it and I don't even know. But
yeah, I put talk show podcasts.
Talk show podcasts, yeah. And nobody watches it.
Well, I mean, I feel like, I don't know, because the thing with Twitch is like AM radio for 22-year-olds, So you got to be able to be on for a long time. You got to just be able to stream for like 5 hours, I think, on Twitch also is one of the keys.
Yeah.
Like the stuff, I guess, like the stuff I was doing in the summer where I was literally drafting best ball teams for like 5 hours at a time. That would probably do better there, maybe.
So we had Levitan on last week.
Yeah, that show did very well. I got the alert in my vidIQ.
Yeah, that show did good. And we got on Twitch, I got 5 views.
4 people are watching this on Twitch right now.
That's pretty good. It's actually not
honestly bad. Yeah. And my boy Desert Fox, he's always watching on Twitch. So shout out to him.
This is
and Miles Ahead 17. He's all
Gremlin. The Coomer Gremlin Destiny.
I don't even want to know what any of those things are, Brian.
No,
I do not want to have the mind virus that you have. Our mind viruses are different.
He's a sick puppy.
I like my mental illness of just drafting every $3 contest on underdog.com more than whatever mind virus you have. Speaking of which, the Skeleton Crew that came out last night, phenomenal.
Dan, did you watch it yet?
I haven't seen any of it. Nope.
Okay. I didn't watch this newest one.
Yes. Yeah. I forgot this too. My Twitch chat is subscribers only, so I need to fix that.
I don't know what mine is. Let's go switch that.
But yeah, Skeleton Crew is good. Skeleton Crew is good.
I will check it out.
Don't take that with a grain of salt, people.
Well, I mean, obviously it's only 4 episodes in, so anything could happen. But I'll say this. Do you know how many times I watched The Acolyte the day it came out in its entirety? Once. The day the first episode, that was it. These Skeleton Crew, I've watched them the day it came out, whole way. Dune nice. Prophecy, not as good. Not as good as I was hoping.
Yeah, it's just so much like a lot of these kinds of shows. One of the traps I seem to fall in is just like way too much exposition. You know, it's like this happens and then this happens and then this is why this is happening. It's like almost there's too much explaining of everything, you know?
Yes. Yeah. All right. they don't want to give us a 101. Now we are, wow, dude. Jobs with the Twitch Prime. That's what I'm talking about.
I imagine that's got to boost the algorithm if you get a Prime.
Yeah, they probably really want that. They do. Look, any of you who are watching on YouTube, you're annoyed by the ads on this, go watch on Twitch. No ads. If you use the Twitch Prime. That I use, and you know the Twitch Prime, I've been subscribed to a guy for like 20 months. I don't even have time to watch Twitch anymore like I did when I was gainfully employed. There's some guy who's just been getting my $5 from Twitch Prime for like 2 years and I haven't watched.
Uh-huh.
Do you think this is Ethan Haskell's new fake name?
Wow. I believe he's still gainfully employed by DraftKings.
Really? No, wait, he was FanDuel? No, he was DraftKings.
Yeah, I believe he is still employed.
Wow.
All right. It wants Puka Nacua and Chase Brown.
Chase Brown is winning. Chase Brown.
What source are we using? RotoGrinder still?
We're using RotoGrinders and Cardis. Oh, Justin Jefferson appeared briefly.
Oh my goodness.
That's usually a sign these are all very close.
We'll do Chase Brown first and then see what it says.
Okay, yeah. Then I guess another run. Chuba Hubbard, which we're going to ignore here. And then it's Puka, and then Trey McBride, HN.
That's interesting. Trey McBride?
Well, Trey McBride just fell to third. It's Chuba, HN, McBride at the moment. Then now it's HN, Connor McBride, Puka, JJ.
We're gonna do McBride because we haven't done McBride yet, and Kyler said he's getting a touchdown.
Yeah, so that's a guaranteed 7 points right there.
Look at that. Look at the custom emote over on Twitch.
Wow.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh. Feels good. Feels good to be back. All right. Chase Brown, Trey McBride. That's a good start. These shows, by the way, have to be so disconcerting for the audio listeners. You know, I post all these on the audio feed too. And some of the shows that we do on YouTube are probably great. Like the ones with Corain and stuff about playoff best ball. They're probably fantastic. You know, super easy listening. This stream has got to be a night. Like if you are listening, and I know some people do, they do just listen to the audio because they don't have time. It has to be very disconcerting.
I would imagine so, especially if you get in the middle and it sounds like somebody asked me, quick, name me 10 NFL players you can think of, and it sounds like I'm having a stroke because I keep repeating the same names over and over.
It says it wants Chuba Hubbard, it wants Ramondre Stevenson. Perfect.
And what is this it that wants it? Is there some kind of NFL eating monster that we need to feed?
Speaking of a digression that is going to make sense to no one, Brian, the war of the Rohirrim.
Rohirrim.
Are you gonna go? Are you gonna go see this film?
No, I didn't even know you had to go see. I thought it was on TV.
Yeah, it's dude, it's in theaters.
Huh. I hear it's a bit woke.
Oh no! And God, could there be anything more woke? Could there be anything worse than woke Lord of the Rings for Brian? That's got those things. That's got to be your trigger. That's got to be your number one. Yeah, dude. If the Bob Dylan movie stinks, man, it really better not.
Is this woke, Davis? I just sent you a pic. Did the Bob Dylan movie suck?
I don't know. I'm hopefully gonna see it this weekend.
He liked it.
Well, I mean, dude, he's 88. How much does he know?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Did you ever read that thread from Norm Macdonald one time he met Bob Dylan?
No.
He deleted it. It was pretty interesting.
I saw him in concert about 8 months ago.
Oh, really? I saw him about 10 years ago. How was he?
You know.
Okay.
He's an old man.
Same 10 years ago. I couldn't understand the word.
It's Jalen Hurts at the moment.
Yeah,
but
I would.
Brian Thomas, Jalen Hurts, and Jacoby Myers all very high.
Wow, those are all good names.
Yeah.
Mattek approved names.
Gonna go Hurts.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go Hurts.
See what it.
Blue-haired orcs. That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
I mean, Rings of Power wasn't far off. They tried to
we got Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams winning it right now.
Not Brian Thomas Jr.
Nope, he is not. Interestingly, be interesting to go back, and if you had taken Brian Thomas, would it have said Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, interesting that it did not want AJ Brown either.
It's waiting, I guess.
Yeah,
it doesn't care enough. Yeah, go ahead.
Very big fan of this guy, of Timothée Chalamet. He's really grown on me.
Well, you got to have a lot of guts to portray freaking,
Bob
Dylan and Bob Dylan and Paul Atreides. Can't be very many humans in history who could have done both.
Well, Paul's not coming for 10,000 years, something like that. No,
that's Leto.
Leto Atreides. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Paul is Dune and Dune 2, Dune Messiah, and then he's the Stranger. It'll be very interesting to see if they try and do that. Do you think they will try and do? I don't think that Paul Villeneuve has the stones to try and do Leto 2 as the Sandworm God Emperor. I think they're going to end it before that.
Yeah, those Dune books get pretty wackadoodle from what I hear.
Oh, Dan, I would have painted you as a all 6 Dune book reader.
No, I think my brother read them all, but I just did the first one. Yeah. I would, but like
never learned how to read personally.
Your mind virus doesn't let you. You have to see more things that make you mad on the internet. You don't have time to read.
No.
Brian, this movie doesn't look woke to me. It looks like an anime.
Yeah, who's the lead character?
Oh, a woman?
Xena the Warrior Princess. I gotta tell them that Bob Dylan joke.
1 second. Let us know. I'm very curious if it wants Devonta Smith or if it is Devonta Smith even just trimmed off.
No, so I'll update you in a second on that. It's not trimmed off. It is in the list, but it's nowhere near the top right now. Right now it's saying Neighbors, Jacoby Myers, and then T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy.
All right,
Neighbors and Myers are winning at the moment.
All right, we're gonna do
T and C. Okay, let's see what it says now. Now it's saying, this is fun. Neighbors, Hill, Wilson. Neighbors, Myers, Hill, Jennings.
Sounds like it likes Neighbors.
I was gonna say Jennings.
No, it's not a huge delta though. It's like 50 cents difference. Or something.
Okay.
I don't think any of these actual.
Devonta Smith now listed third in the list. By the way.
Oh well, too late. I was unnimble. I moved.
Okay.
I moved
No, it's
back
still
forward.
fine. So
T
it would have.
Chase Brown, not great, but whatever.
So this one, it thought $5.76.
Davis ruined it.
If you had gone Devonta Smith, it would have said $6.88.
You know what? No bacon on your McDouble. Just the McDouble.
Just the McDouble plain. Can I have a McDouble but single, please?
We might not be even getting the McDouble at this rate, Dan.
Yeah,
so.
we might be back to chicken nuggets.
Can I have a McHalf? So it's just like half the patty on one side and just blank on the other.
Yeah, neighborhood is right. I am a full Juwan Jennings slappy, just like the slappiest slap. You look, man. A lot of things, but if you beat me once with a 48 ball and you think I'm not going to learn from that experience, you got a very different thing coming.
Fair enough.
Have you guys been listening to Christmas music?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
No, weirdly, no.
I have.
Do you know how much Christmas music I have sung in my life? I could probably transcribe from memory about 20 Christmas carols in 4 parts. At this point. I was gonna say this. Sorry, slight popping in the stack. So you asked, like, is Devonta Smith even in the list? So the way I have things now, anytime you have a quarterback on your team, it will make sure there's at least one receiver offered from the same team, whatever the highest projected one that's left. So if AJ Brown is gone and you pick up Jalen Hurts, it will consider the next receiver up, no matter what, because that just seemed like a good thing to add.
Okay.
And if it's a tight end that happens to have a higher projection, it will offer that up. It will at least consider. Yeah. So here it ended with Malik Neighbors, Jacoby Myers, and Devonta Smith pretty tight. So in terms of options.
I just kind of like all Christmas songs sung by like an Italian guy, sketchy Italian guy. You know, Bing Crosby. He's probably not Italian.
He's not Italian.
Frank Sinatra. You know what I mean, though. Dean Martin. Yeah.
I'm more of a Christmas and Hollis Run DMC kind of guy.
All right. Well, here we're back. Does the Sim want first round Josh Allen? It's not going to.
It does not. Although it's close enough that no, it's not that close. It wants Bijan Robinson or Jamar Chase.
Let's do Jamar Chase. We haven't done that yet, and we'll see what it says.
Yeah.
I assume the computer does know, but maybe not. Maybe not. It depends on if the projection source has DeVito or Tim Boyle or
take a look real quick.
And I think I'd have to go with Locke if I'm forced.
Correct.
For fantasy, anyways.
It has Drew Lock in both sources.
Yeah. There you go. Wow. Nerdy looks like the front man for Sonic Youth.
Thurston Moore. Wow, that's...
What is a Sonic Youth?
Oh, wow. You do look like this guy.
You know who Sonic Youth is, don't you, Dan?
I can't tell if Dan's... I can't tell if Don...
They're like, you know, that late 80s, early 90s lo-fi.
Yeah. I've gotten Beck before.
I see Beck but you look much more like this guy, like much more.
Did you ever listen to Sea Change by Beck, the album?
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I like those kinds of. I guess people would. How would you categorize an artist like Beck? Like he's like
eclectic,
country, electronic, alterna. It's a very mixed. I tend to like pop X like that when I listen to it.
Sea Change is like his like vocal album, I feel like.
So
very singer-songwriter. Okay.
We don't it's saying Brock Bowers here.
Same thing.
Same. Yeah, let's change it up.
Yeah, Sonic Youth is a great band.
I don't love them, but yeah, a lot of my buddies were into those indie bands like back then, so I had to be the opposite, of course. It's pretty close. Yeah,
it's pretty close. I do if I have recently played cards. I care.
That's often my thing. See what I have.
I do if my cleaning lady was just here.
Yeah, I have $535 in cold hard cash.
You're rich.
Mostly by mistake. Yeah, I cashed out my Sklansky bucks.
Oh, before January 20th.
Well, it's a new government initiative. Some states are probably starting early.
Okay. They got to comply. You got to start compliance early.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Well, you just want to get the infrastructure in place.
Actually, I just needed to buy a hamburger, so I got a few $100s out of the ATM.
That's probably much the cost.
Does it want Connor or Chuba?
It wants Chuba, and after that, if you're feeling wild and crazy, you could get Trey McBride. It's saying it doesn't love that, though. It wants Chuba, and then it wants James Conner, and then it wants Thomas, Jones, Kyron.
If you won...
I'm going to take James Conner.
If you won 50 last week, now that I think about it with Connor, you probably would have done pretty good, Dan, with the sim. Right? Because it loved a lot of those guys who went off.
It didn't love Laporta, though. It didn't love, which was needed for serious money because he was the highest scoring tight end.
No, we were taking Laporta, though. Was it just because we wanted him? I thought we took Laporta.
I can go look at the file later on our Discord and see. We can look at it. Yeah.
Dangerous.
Well, I mean, you might not have taken first, but you'd probably have, a decent return.
Some shots. Yeah.
Shots on goal are all you can ask for.
Chuba Hubbard. No. Okay. Finally,
people are someone's getting woke to the sim now.
Where?
Who? Wait, the neighborhood. He's in chat.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So this Chuba pick is going to be looks like,
by the way,
valuable round 3, round 4 type of pick for a little bit.
Yeah.
Notice after I tweeted about Patrick Barnes' YouTube, he's shied away from playing us.
Mm-hmm.
He got a little scared.
Kyron Williams winning the race at the moment.
What does it say the EV is with Joe Burrow? Because if we want him, we have to take him here. And the
Joe Burrow, it's a big. You're paying like $3 to get him now.
Okay. Who does it wants? Kyron?
It wants Kyron, yeah.
So the thing that I'd like to interrogate the computer about is
just weird.
Does it?
I don't believe it. Go on. Yeah.
Does it know that we're unlikely to get Burrow if we wait? Basically,
it factors in what it thinks the other drafters should be up to, but not what they're actually up to. So, like, if the opponent yet to draft has a piece that goes well with Joe Burrow, it's going to assume that Joe Burrow is more likely to be gone, and thus, if we really want Joe Burrow desperately, it will pop up to the top for that reason. But it does not think that. So Burrow is still available. And in fact, now Joe Burrow is winning.
Wow. Computer, dude. Why would I ever argue with it?
The guy to the right, I don't think is especially likely to get Joe Burrow either. But
no, he has T. Higgins, so he is likely to do it.
He's got
oh,
T.
he has
Higgins.
T. Okay, so
you gotta take
why.
him now.
Now you take him. But getting Joe Burrow here is not such a disaster. I mean, it's not.
Well, depends on. It actually is a matter of perspective because I am not going to be drafting any Aiden O'Connell with my own money in 6 mans. So you don't have a stack set up, which means you are either taking Anthony Richardson to just get his 25 rushing points or whatever, or you are then doing something like, okay, I will take Sam Darnold and Jordan Addison. I will take Tua and Tyreek Hill. I'll take Michael Penix and you're having to create this, or you create the uncorrelated 6-leg parlay, of which you should, if you're drafting 150, you should have some uncorrelated 6-leg parlays. You should have some double stacks. You should have some single stacks. My general thought would be, though, for T to generate the 30 points necessary to win a BR, Joe Burrow probably has to get like 25 just in any of those scenarios. Yeah. I don't like doing this stuff. The Stafford, Kyler Connor. It's probably fine with Kyler and Connor, but I just don't do a ton of it.
Do you think this could be not a flaw per se, but an obvious exploitable part that the EQ doesn't see, Dan? Maybe we should do our pick before we talk about it, but it's maybe the EQ thinks our guy right after us shouldn't take Joe Burrow 20% of the time or something, therefore giving us EV for it coming back. So but he's never going to play properly, and you're always never going to get Joe Burrow.
Yeah, so here's what we can do after this pick. So it's saying Neighbors, Myers, Hill, Cup, and Jigba. Neighbors, Myers, Hill, Wilson, and Jigba. There's a lot of options. They're pretty close. Neighbors winning. Neighbors it is.
You gotta take Neighbors, yeah.
So $21.03.
I didn't even have to.
$21.03.
Yeah. So here's what I'm gonna do. We can investigate this issue. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll back the draft, and I'm gonna change your Joe Burrow pick to be Neighbors, just so it's the same.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna
here's the board.
Yeah, I copy and pasted it from my own stuff. I'm gonna have you pick Neighbors with your 5th pick. And then I'm gonna have the next guy take
Burrow,
and I'm gonna change everything else to match and see what the EV would have been if you missed Burrow. So give me a minute to do that.
Interesting. Do you understand, Davis, what we're talking about here?
Yeah, we're seeing what the EV would be if we let him take T. Higgins.
Yes, but like when you mentioned your soliloquy about the whole T. Higgins and points and stuff, also, which might be right, but also maybe it's assuming that Shilly or whatever his screen name is supposed to not take T. Higgins X% of the time.
Right.
Play perfect strategy.
Right.
And so if he if he doesn't take him X% of the time, then that means he's coming back to us some percentage of the time, which changes our AV for Burrow in that spot. But in reality, homeboy's got T. Higgins, and he's just like almost always going to take Burrow. But that's not optimal. It's actually a certain percentage of the time he shouldn't be to be unexploitable.
Yeah. So,
but maybe not. Dan's checking.
No, it looks like you're absolutely right. So it's giving you.
Love those words, Dan.
It's well, you could both be wrong. I mean, there's always that possible. That the Sim and us could all be wrong. So if I make that switch and keep everything else the same, it gives us Kyler Murray, but only $13 worth of EV. So it looks like a good part of the calculation there was sometimes he doesn't take Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
And so we can get a better pick at receiver earlier. Although, to be fair, to really do this correctly, I should put in a better receiver at that pick rather than because you wouldn't have taken Neighbors if you didn't take Joe Burrow. You would have taken.
Do it.
Yeah, let me back it
take
up
whoever
here.
would suggest besides Burrow.
Good idea. So let's do that. Okay, I'm back there. And it says, okay. It says,
So this is kind of like Davis.
Kobe
Sorry
Meyer.
if I'm cutting you off, Dan.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
The age old poker debate. So we would put our range for Shilly on our nerdy tenor solver, right? He's going to pick these hands. He's going to be playing these hands. So what would our proper response be with our range? But in reality, Shilly is that 60-year-old rock guy.
Yeah, the range you're giving this guy where 60
right.
or where 20% of the time he tries to feint and do something else on you. It's actually, I have T. Higgins, I take Joe Burrow. It's as simple as that.
Right, exactly. Which maybe not. Maybe this guy was thinking, Charbonnet. By the way, I took Zach out. I didn't in my pool, so I don't know if we need to put him back in. I didn't know he was playing, but
okay. So it's not as bad when I do it this way. So what happens is I took for the 5th pick, I took Jacoby Myers, and then it came around and it gave me Aiden O'Connell, and it got $16.50. So it's still, there is that effect there.
cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wanted to get greedy, take a better receiver, and hope Joe Burrow was available when
right.
In reality, it was far more likely that he wouldn't be available. So if you substitute in what actual people are likely to do, it's going to be a different choice, right?
That's really interesting. Which is good because it means it's working.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually doing what you want it to.
Yeah, it's trying to figure this shit out. It's just, it's.
I released a video on Endgame today, Davis, and in there I talk about like even making your own simple sim for things. So like Dan, I did like a simple idea that I've done in years past. Instead of doing a field, you just do some sort of optimal number, like in DFS for that slate, and then run whatever lineups you want in your sim. It'd still be a player sim or however your distributions work, but just beating this like top 1% number. And so it's like a ceiling kind of sim. It doesn't have any player combos or anything. But anyways, one of the reasons you'd want to like approach beating these games with this simple sim when you could go get Saber Sim or something like that is everything that's baked in. And so like we know everything that's baked into Dan's because Dan did it. And now we could go back and test it and stuff like that. And so his is way more complicated, of course, than the one I just suggested. But like if you are thinking about what's it called? Doing a simple sim, there's way that what's going into it. So like it's not a bad idea to even do something simple.
I want to do one last experiment. So I'm going to go back to that same node and we pass on Joe Burrow and then see how much our EV is if Joe Burrow was still available when he came around for the last pick. So it should be more than what we got because that's why it suggested not to take him, right? So let's just see how different it is. I'm going to put up, keep the rest the same. This one I can keep literally the same. So goes Jonnu Smith, Sam Laporta, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Murray.
This is a very good point.
Yeah.
From Mr. Shackelford.
That's another reason why you do an EQ strategy, where there is a certain percentage of times, even this guy, we don't know, like a certain percentage of times he doesn't take Burrow in both of these picks.
Yeah, I think it must be noisy because the number's not very different when I just ran this experiment. It's only
okay, so it doesn't matter.
Well, it should in theory. I mean, but I don't know how much it's just noise, to be honest with you. This would take a little more exploring to really figure out.
All right.
Anyway, fun stuff.
So I think the answer is that it was in fact correct to take Joe Burrow. I think we got there, and I feel good.
Well, here's what's really interesting. So if you take, and this is just according to the projections I have, so obviously could be wrong. So if you take Jacoby Myers there and it comes around and Joe Burrow is available, taking Joe Burrow over Aiden O'Connell is only worth a little bit more in this sim. And that could be the main explanation. It's like, I'm going to take this receiver. Hopefully Joe Burrow's still available, but if he's not, I'm still getting very close to the same EV. Whereas if I take a receiver and if I go the other way now, then he might not be available or something stupid. I don't know. It's got to be something like that. No, that doesn't make it correct, but it is.
Yeah,
it makes sense from an EV calc perspective.
Also, this would be. I'd be curious what this would look like with the ETR stuff tomorrow cooked in. You know what I'm saying? Like it would look a little bit different.
For sure.
All right.
Speaking of not a lot of significant changes at lower, you want to try to use the ADP? Oh, I wanted to make a comment about the ADP projections.
I will load that one.
It's kind of, maybe we should average the ADP projections with something. Like in the future, just try it one time. Because we're really ADP projections are what has happened, not what will happen. And the projections a lot of times are closer to what will happen ADP wise. It seems like whenever, our what's the fucking Patriots running back? Why can't
Ramondre.
Yeah. The Ramondre player of the week is almost always going higher, right? It seems like by Sunday. And so like using ADP is kind of like behind the curve a little bit because it's like it's like the earlier, shittier, less sharp draft data based on that ADP. So like if you use that plus like 20% Cardi or something, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Might have to do some clever normalization because the scales of the numbers might be off a little bit in weird ways. I'd have to look at that.
We don't have nearly enough people watching us for this level of trolls.
And the troll is high.
I could see a Sunday when there's 500 people watching, but
they're following you, bro.
They just want us all to be healthier. That's all, right?
Do we have the ADP model up?
It is up, yeah.
All right, let's do it. This will be. I mean, these are gonna look different.
Yeah, they are.
Maybe we should spend our Skolansky bucks at like Whole Foods, and then they'll stop the.
Hey,
buddy, I'm fat, and I eat Whole Foods. You can still eat a lot of healthy food. Trust me.
That's true.
Watch, buddy. I can slam down 1,300 calories of chicken and rice with a Diet Coke. I mean, buddy, it's not even hard.
Chicken and rice ain't bad for you, though.
No, chicken and rice is great for you. But if you eat chicken and rice and then you have some non-fat Greek yogurt with a scoop of protein powder and some blueberries in it afterward, you just had 1,600 calories for dinner. If you're proportionally, I bet my BMI is like 28, 29 right now. Now, part of that is I'm very muscular too, and that doesn't like, and I'm short, but like, so it's pretty easy to put calories on. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. You can go to Whole Foods and overeat is the subtext there.
Oh, it's definitely true.
Now we actually might get Josh Allen using this model, Dan.
I don't think so. So here's in the using this, it's giving Josh Allen on average 10th. So, and you might be saying, well, why would that be the case if you're using ADP based projections? And that's what I said earlier, is that it'll get the relative order within a position will match.
Speaking of which, I'm going to grab a drink really quick.
Nice. But cross position, it's not going to match because it matters the actual point projection.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, it's not going to matter because. So it's going to say Saquon here. Shocking.
Fine by me. I have not taken I've not taken very many Saquon teams because I'm taking Gibbs instead. Yeah. So the thing I remember from doing the last time we did the ADP regression was it was literally mostly the guy at ADP. Wasn't always.
Right. We could, I don't want to give Brian more work to do, but we could tighten it up even more by after you do the regression, you could do some kind of cross position normalization to make sure that the points match up, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. The cross position. I don't know exactly how you would do that. Not my problem.
I had a 0.9 arch compared to the underdog projections.
That's pretty strong.
It's not too bad.
Let's
see what it says. Let's see what it does.
I'm going to say James Conner. Yeah, it's saying James Conner.
All right. Well,
there it is.
Brian, but your shit would hate this, Brian.
Why?
The combinatorics of this. These are just the guys that picks. The combinatorics of this.
Oh, it doesn't know anything about combos.
I'm just saying. I'm saying you're a caddy sheet. I'm taking Trey McBride.
Nice. Okay. Okie dokie. There it goes.
For the combinatorics.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know what the combinatorics are?
Because they literally line up. Like if you were just to auto draft, you would get Barkley and Conner 100% of the time.
Got to know draft.
You got to know draft. There's real value in knowing draft. There's super value in knowing draft.
Yeah, but you're still just guessing.
It's gonna happen. Let's see.
Now, if it wants Jalen Hurts, I personally hate taking Jalen Hurts with.
It's not going to want Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Because Jalen Hurts has been taken.
Okay.
Sorry, smart ass remark. The trolls are inspiring me. Okay, Brock Bowers goes. What do we got? Kyron Williams. Achan is winning actually now. Achan.
Okay. Well, all right, there we go. Brian, how do you feel about the combinatorics?
I don't know. They're not cooked enough yet.
Yeah, it's a little early.
Okay.
That's another thing too. You could have like a high combo right now, and by Sunday it doesn't matter.
I have heard this. It's true. A quarterback and a running back have never gotten there together.
Ever?
Never. Not once in the history of Battle Royale, actually.
What never? Sorry.
Wow. He broke out the tenor for you guys.
Gilbert and Sullivan. All right. Here we go. James Cook gone.
Whenever I always think of The Simpsons when someone mentions Gilbert and Sullivan.
Same. I mean, I'm just always thinking about The Simpsons, though. That's the thing. I just like about 50% of my waking day, I am thinking about something related to The Simpsons.
I think my brother has seen all of The Simpsons.
I think I've seen every episode. Probably not every episode since 2019, but every episode, 95% of episodes since the beginning of the show.
Well, that's the wrong thing to do, because after 1996, you should have even watched like a handful of episodes.
No, see, Brian, I am a completionist. That's just the thing you don't understand. You're not. You give up on things.
No, it just started sucking.
I'll be watching Rings of Power in 2033 when they do legitimately have blue-haired orcs.
Okay. A.J. Brown. Listed next.
Who does it have next? I'm disregarding.
T. Higgins. If you want to do Higgins Burrow, you could take Higgins now.
Let's see if the chase drafter is probably. Oh no, we come up ahead again before the chase.
You're
drafter.
guaranteed to be offered. Have the option. Yeah.
What was his ADP? Was he the top?
That's a good question.
Well, was he Davis right there?
Brian Thomas was the highest, or AJ Brown was the highest, wide receiver 7. T. Higgins was wide receiver 10.
Okay, so it went down. Because maybe, I mean, it's kind of interesting if it just follows ADP for a little bit and then starts changing at the end.
Well, it knows that if you take T. Higgins, you can stack it. So it's going to know that. Because it knows that
whatever
guys have taken quarterbacks.
Whatever the reasoning, that just lends there's some reasoning for instead of just taking ADP.
Right. Yeah. And ownership too. So.
And we will get to take Joseph Burrow because both of the guys behind us have a quarterback.
Right.
So just a lot of Joe Burrow.
Burrow.
Which actually is like, I think these ADPs are probably bad. Like, I think that in the end, I think this game is actually largely going to stink.
Oh, who are they playing?
Dorian Thompson-Robinson is taking over a quarterback for the Browns.
Okie dokie. Oh, we don't get any of our good friend Jameis. So yeah, it just wants Joe Burrow by a gigantic margin here. It's not even close.
All right, well let's keep printing the Sklans.
The Sklans. I'm sorry, sir. You've come down with a case of Sklans. We're gonna have to operate immediately.
Well, we canceled Sklans, actually.
And then we just need a receiver, huh?
That's all we need.
See, this is what happens when you attack Sklansky. You just get botted with trolls. If
Guerrero doesn't play, is Patrick? What are we gonna do? Are we down to Patrick Taylor Jr.? I mean, my God, snake bitten franchise. We're gonna have to start coding in if teams are trying or not, Dan.
Well, it should be in there, right?
Everybody is done with receivers, so I'm going to advance to our final pick. And let it cook. Looks like Drake London.
I was going to say it's just going to want Drake London.
Yeah. Look at the ADP delta. It's a pretty big jump.
What if we take Juwan Jennings?
He's not trimmed off, but he is second to last in the list.
All right,
so it's got Drake London at $20, and then it's got Juwan Jennings at $9.
So I still make money.
Oh my God.
But that's just ADP based. Those EV numbers are going to be.
All right, we're taking Juwan Jennings, and I'll tell you, there's basically no way for you to code this. I'm assuming this is far and above anything that we're working on right now. But assuming infinite time for you and infinite skills, because I don't know actually about your programming abilities. There is an element where there has to be a dollar value in the stuff Brian's talking about in terms of Drake London will be 90% owned with a, I don't know, let's call it a 16.5 point projection. Juwan Jennings will be 19% owned with a 14.1% projection. What's the dollar value of the delta of that ownership? And the way the model is currently constructed right now, there's no value placed on the low ownership.
Well, that's related to what Brian was saying earlier, where like if you're using ADP to drive the model as we were doing right here, there's just these, you can't get fine-grained enough to capture that kind of thing. Whereas if you have real projections, you'll get there. So if we look at the other model, it will tell you what it thinks of that answer when you look at the percent drafted, right? But here, it can't quite get there from here, because it doesn't know, it has no information about like the relative difference between the 35.8 and the 35.9. Like it's just not capturing what's driving that, right?
All right. Well,
it just doesn't have enough juice on that end.
Well, I was just trying to explain why I cost us all another McDouble. That's all.
Well, it might not have cost. I would guess that the difference is going to be smaller than whatever it printed using this methodology.
Can we load back up the projection model?
Yeah, I got you.
If you might not have enough time.
No, I do. It only takes less than a minute to switch over.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we're good to go.
All right. I just like the ADP teams are interesting, but I also know what it's going to tell me to do. I think the projection teams are a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, well, I think it'd be fun to do it a few more times to see when it deviates.
That's true.
And why?
It would do it for combo and stacking reasons, right? Like you can still have that to some. It depends. Well, anyway, I want to look at Jennings in the model we're looking at now. So Jennings in the projection model is drafted about half the time. In my stuff, and then Drake London is drafted similarly. Actually, they're both about 50.
Although he didn't get drafted in the last one because I passed on him.
Yeah. So with these two projection sets, it's about 50-50 for each of those two guys.
There might be some alpha in bringing the projection ADP projections in a little bit to the Cardi projections.
I can see that.
You could do it by pushing and pulling the projections around a little bit. So you start with projections, and then anytime within a position there's a discrepancy between ADP and projection, you do some kind of.
That's a fun way to do it. It wants Barkley.
Yeah. It's gonna say Sorry. Still, what's happening? On my computer. Go ahead and take him. I'm having a slight technical issue here. Go ahead and take Barkley. It's probably what it would come up with eventually.
Yeah. I assume so.
Yeah, and then you would do you push and pull the projections without such that there was a net zero difference. So you take a little from one and put it to the other until it matched. And then you would respect the total projection available by position. That might be a way to do that. I'll have to think about how I would do that. Except,
All
so
right.
it would say
Barkley Jefferson.
You're going to do Jefferson? All right.
Well, I even do the show. Does let Davis pick
it
everything?
wants Puka.
Yeah. Or Bowers. No, Jefferson is up there. It's, I don't know.
Actually,
Jefferson was fifth.
Combinatorically.
Combo.
Puka.
Combinatorial.
Combinatorial.
It's but there's no second O, right? It's combinatorial.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
But the back to the ADP thing.
Yeah.
Is the ADP kind of illustrates, the ADP version illustrates how much the projection is driving it, right?
Right.
Because what's going to happen is the opponents are not going to follow directly ADP. And then the sim's going to go like, oh, these idiots passed on this guy.
Yeah.
Got to gobble them up. Well, the same thing's happening with Cardi's projections, but it's Cardi's stuff. And so it doesn't look like we're following ADP, but it's following Cardi's ADP. And so when they don't pick Cardi's Kamara guy or whoever that week, it goes, these idiots didn't take him, got to take him.
Yeah.
And so if you add in an ADP element to it, it might kind of balance it a little bit.
Another way of doing it is to, and people have talked about this, but it's hard to do, would be to separate out the
double streamed BR. That is the brain rot future. Dudes, I think what's happening is someone is now creating multiple accounts to troll, by the way, which is that's quite the afternoon.
It's saying Chuba, Neighbors, Daniels, and Stafford and Hurts. That's weird because there's only one guy behind you. I would do Neighbors or Hubbard, or you want to just do Chuba?
Yeah. No, there's no portfolio management. It's just it's just that has to be in your brain. Your brain has to be the sim there.
Oh, now I see why it was not suggesting a running back, because the guy after you has two already.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
and the sim thinks he's gonna take Neighbors.
Right. Well, he went Hurts, AJ Brown.
This guy's got a pretty good team.
And so for you now, it's my God, I don't believe this bullshit. Okay,
Neighbor?
Jonas.
Let me make sure on YouTube that it's still on. Okay, it's still on. We're chilling. We're good.
A rare hiccup from the streaming software.
That's great. That has never happened to me.
I mean, that's
StreamYard
actually quite impressive given how much time you spend streaming.
I know.
How rare it is for something like that to happen.
I know, because I know, like, when streaming kind of first came around, that like happened all the time. That would be like extremely common that streams would die, that there would be kind of momentary hiccups that would mess it up. Or even if you use different software, if you use OBS or whatever, it's still kind of common. All right. Well, and we didn't even miss a pick. I mean, think about that. We didn't even miss. We didn't get to take Joe Burrow because John took him.
How many T. Higgins lineups are you gonna do?
Probably a lot. Probably a lot because the computer. I mean, Brian, you're the one who always wants me to listen to the computer.
You do it when you like a player. I imagine you like Higgins.
No, I actually don't. I actually hate T. Higgins.
This week?
No, just in general. I'm like
what about this week?
T. Higgins guy. He's fine. I would put him more on the like. I won't be aching to play him in salary cap DFS.
Right. So we will be taking a tight end next.
Yeah. I'm assuming it wants Hawkinson.
Yeah, let's see. Yes. Hawkinson is the winner.
All right. And we can take Darnold with him, or we can take Stafford with Puka, or we can take Anthony Richardson as our parlay.
I'm letting it cook right now, so it looks like it prefers Darnold. I'm gonna let it cook some more.
Well, yeah, it's got Darnold has the highest raw projection of that group.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Although,
it's
what does it give?
close.
I was gonna say, what does it give Daniels?
I'll let it cook fully in. So we'll pick, and then I'll let it continue to cook. How about that?
Okay.
So it's tight between Stafford and Darnold. It's within 15 cents right now. But Stafford is winning. Okay, now Stafford is winning by 3 cents.
And is there a Daniels dollar value?
I'll get to that in a second. It's a couple dollars lower. So it looks like the mix here is Stafford Darnold.
All right. That's curious. I would think there's a decent EV in Daniels naked, but there's probably something I'm missing.
I will see. So okay, so you went Stafford. So as of this second, it has Sam Darnold $14.70, Matt Stafford $14.69. So Richardson $13.07, Daniels $12.70. So Richardson Daniels seem mixy identical to the computer at this moment. It's probably projection versus ownership.
I mean, yeah, I would also like internally agree with that. Like that makes sense. That they're basically the same EV play. You're just hoping one of them runs for 2 touchdowns, basically, and outscores your correlated piece. Let's see if we can get a 101.
Yeah.
Or a Josh Allen team.
Yeah, if we want a Josh Allen team, we're just gonna have to override. Maybe if we get pick 3 or later, and Josh Allen is available, maybe we just grab him and see what happens.
No,
or is that too egg?
Well, I mean, I don't mind being aggro. We keep getting some no badgers in these rooms, which is interesting. I very rarely see no badgers in a BR room, like very
especially
rarely.
especially on a Wednesday.
Well, the best ball contest just paid out. Yeah, the people are getting it's stimmy. This is remember when it used to be Free Money Monday? Actually, if you're old enough, Free Money Tuesday, because Free Money Monday. Yeah, where the main slate would end on Sunday night, and then NFL DFS would be out, and then you could play MLB DFS or NBA DFS on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, this comment too. There's no NBA today.
Yeah, no double dribble. No. All right, let's do it. Let's take Josh Allen and see what it wants us to do. Yeah. Mostly, I'm curious if it wants us to take Shakir or Kincaid, or if it just views them as a tier worse.
I'm going to let it cook and see how much it thinks it costs to take Allen here. Because I think we were talking about diversification in the Endgame Discord and BRs a lot. Like, one of the things to consider if you're never getting to a guy because of your process or your take or whatever is to consider, like, assuming your take is correct and I shouldn't take Josh Allen here, like, how much is it costing me really? And if the answer is very little,
right,
I would be much more inclined to be like, you know what, I'm just going to take some because just so I don't get crushed if you absolutely positively have to have Josh Allen this week. Like, it just is a little hit. So for instance, here, it only cost us about 50 cents versus the top projected play, which is pretty close to what I would consider
that's pretty good.
Almost rounding error, given how this process works and how much noise there is and how sensitive it is to projections. It's probably pretty close to, the same. So why not just grab them?
All right. Is it going to want Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, or Chuba Hubbard?
That's a good question. Chuba. It's saying Chuba, Kyron, McBride, Bowers in that order. I don't think it makes sense to take Chuba here because
no, it's just I really enjoy taking the elite tight ends. It just feels the coziest way to play this game is to just take the tight end who projects like 4 points better than everyone else. Maybe it's not better in reality, but man, does it just feel better than having to be like, all right, I guess I'll take Kyle Pitts. I guess I'll take Cole Kmet. It's just like, great. I'm not going to win now.
Yeah.
Guess I should have been more woke to Laporta last week.
I want to go look at that after this draft. I'm going to go back in time. Let's see what it had in that. So now, guess what? Chuba Hubbard can decide whether you want to do that or not.
Let's take Kyron.
You want to do Kyron now? Okay.
Yeah. It won't be much worse because it's liked Kyron too, so that'll be close.
Yeah. I mean, it does like Chuba a good bit more, but the question is, how likely is he to be drafted before it comes back around to us? Don't know.
I mean, Chuba in a room where someone is not actively watching the stream is probably a 5th round pick 90% of the time.
Yeah. So here's the guy that would be the most likely to take him if somebody were to take him, I think.
Yes.
He's got 2
and
spots.
he's seen this guy's username a lot, which is weird because he's not even a red badge. All right, he's going to do Jalen Hurts, and he probably will take. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I was wondering why my drafting code wasn't working. I had moved my fingers to the next level of my keyboard, which is always fun.
We're really missing out. The people are getting robbed without the mechanical keyboard.
I can make the noise with my mouth.
Could work.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Jalen Addison has been selected. Or Jordan Addison, excuse me. That's an interesting one. Okay, so now we have once Aaron Jones. Why?
Aaron Jones. All right.
Jonathan Taylor, Garendo, but we think he might be injured. So Taylor, okay, Jones is still winning by a little bit.
Oh, Garendo is fine because you get a swap.
So it's Jones, Garendo, Taylor, all very tight.
All right, Aaron Jones.
Okay. What do we got? Okay.
All right. Josh Allen, Trey McBride, Kyron Williams, Aaron Jones. So then the final 2 picks are going to be, it's going to say Malik Neighbors and Jacoby Myers.
The question is, will it try to get Shakir in there? That'll be interesting. Jaden Daniels. We'd love to see quarterbacks go. That's awesome. So yes, it's saying Neighbors here. Neighbors. It's saying Neighbors, Myers, Jennings, Cup.
Oh, all right. I've heard enough.
He's in there. You can grab him.
What does it give Khalil Shakir? Is he on the list?
Yes, he's forced in the list because we have Allen, but he's at the very bottom right now. Let's see what happens after he comes around. This
team probably is. Yeah, I don't know. The double, the combination of quarterback first round, tight end second round, then running back means you just feel very thin at wide receiver. Yeah. Doesn't mean anything.
It's just a little uncomfortable.
It is a little. I mean, especially because Devontae Adams is going to get 38 points. I mean, he's just locked in.
Well, he almost carried my team in my weekly league, like my $20.
People need to know if you're winning your home league, Dan. Are you smart enough to win? I
made it to the playoffs, and I was looking pretty good with Devontae, and then when those afternoon games came along, I got absolutely shredded because my opponent had. Who did he have? Oh, plus I had, in addition to Devontae, which worked out, I had Brock. Did I have Brock Purdy? I think I had Purdy and Jennings.
Well, you have Jennings, ball. All right. What is the dollar value between Neighbors and Shakir?
Can I see the board? I missed something.
Yes, sorry.
John Smith, Jerome Ford. Oh, I see. CMT. Okay, what were you asking?
Dollar value difference between Neighbors and Shakir.
It's saying Myers, Neighbors. The dollar value is $2 approximately.
All right. Sorry, Brian. No bacon on your McDouble. We're taking Shakir.
Shakir, okay.
Yeah.
So it came out as $6.12.
Oh, brutal. So it didn't like Allen. It wanted Chuba over Kyron. It didn't want Jennings and it didn't want Shakir. So I cost us a bunch of theoretical dollars.
It cost like $1.50. Well, total at the end $1.50, but yeah, whatever.
Okay. Well, not everyone gets to be rich.
That's fair.
All right, let's do. You got time for one more? Or are we done?
I do have time. Yes, I think my father and stepmother are both napping at the moment. So.
All right. Oh man, how good would a nap hit right now?
So I got for my birthday last week. I bought myself one of these sleep fitness tracker thingies.
The Oura Ring.
Yeah, and the very next day I had a surprise trip out here to help my parents with some stuff, and so I had a big birthday dinner with some alcohol and slept for like grand total of 5 hours.
Yep.
And when I woke up, the ring, I shit you not, in the app it said to me, "It's going to be okay." I'm like, oh dear, I've really done it. Thought that was hilarious.
Did you research those rings a lot, or
only a little bit? I bought an Apple Watch, like a Gen 1 Apple Watch, and I wore it for 2 months and then never put it on again because I typically want less digital interaction in my life, not more. But the ring is nice because it's just taking data and you kind of forget.
There's no face. Yeah.
There's no face. There's no alert.
I kind of want to switch from the Apple Watch to a Whoop, but I mean, same thing as the Oura Ring does. It gives you the data, but isn't a buzzing, beeping thing.
Yeah.
That and actually it's better data. It's a more sensitive.
Oh, really?
It's a more sensitive. Yeah, it does. It's got extra. Well, the main thing is with the Apple Watch, you can't sleep on it with it because it will die. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think the battery life on this is like close to a week.
I don't know if your sim has Gibbs, but that's who we're gonna take.
It is listed first. Yeah, he's listed.
I didn't know if it would all be updated for Montgomery being out.
Yeah, no, we have Gibbs as the number one choice by about $1 here.
Brian, this is a question for you. Pete, he'll always tell me, BR is not a CLV game. It's not a closing line value game. It's a combo game. To which I would say, yeah, but if you drafted on Monday, you could have routinely gotten Jahmyr Gibbs in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
You could have very easily gotten Saquon Barkley and Jahmyr Gibbs together. The top 2 picks in this draft. You could have gotten Chase and Gibbs, Jefferson and Gibbs, Chase Brown and Gibbs. These are not combos that are accessible for 97.8% of BR drafts. So I think in that sense, it is a CLV game. I think a smart person would have done like 75 of their drafts on Monday and tried to get those Gibbs combos in.
But you just have to make sure you aren't getting overly penalized by lack of other information, right?
So a thing you can do is you can take Q tag players on Monday. You could take like your 6th round pick could be Kenneth Walker in all of these, and either you get a bunch of Kenneth Walker or you get to choose. You get to say, actually, I get this guy who broke late as the nuts, and he was not drafted at all. I mean, that's just an example.
Yeah. So in that case, you'd be getting closing line value in a sense that the teams you have with those players are going to be higher projected than they should be.
Correct.
Yeah, a little bit stronger than they would otherwise be.
Technically, that is combo still too, though, Davis.
It's
yes,
both, yeah,
but
it's both.
Again, I have also always told Pete that, but because Pete wins, he doesn't have to listen to me.
Yeah,
doesn't have to. Well, the 6th player took both the James C running backs, so there's some correlation there.
I think between the two, you and Pete, who's taking advice from Dan and myself more, I would have to go with Pete on that.
I don't know. Maybe
chance, dude. I'm doing other than taking guys who are as something the projections are not accounting for. I'm just straight. Oh, this guy got Bijan and Josh Allen. That is sick. And this guy got Jamar Jefferson.
Josh Allen went like where my software thinks he should go.
Yeah,
which is rare. Okay, we have our good friend Mr. Hubbard, and then we have Kyron, Bowers, McBride, HM.
Let's do McBride on this one. Maybe it is not, despite taking McBride multiple times, it is not yet suggested
Mr. Murray.
Kyler. Yeah, it's not suggested Kyler to us yet.
Nope.
Yeah, this guy at the far right, he's just trying to get his combos in, I guess.
I guess so.
You just need to that's the gem mining gambling meme, the don't stop gambling meme. If you get in enough rooms, people will keep making mistakes like that. Or maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe James Cook will get a billion points.
It could honestly be, this is my declining mental faculties talking, but like he meant to get one of them and then got both of them because they're so similar.
James
C name running backs. it could be. I mean,
he just typed in CO and clicked the star and moved on.
Yeah, mid shit, anything's possible.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Although a lot more badges this one.
Okay, so Tuchuba or not Tuchuba? That is the question.
Who else does it have for us?
I think I'm gonna have to tweet out. Can someone do a life check on Patrick Barnes' YouTube?
Williams, Aaron Jones, HN.
We'll do Chuba. If I'll because when ETR publishes their projections tonight, you just wait. He's steaming. I mean, he the last week he ended up being the running back 6, I think. So, not a good idea. Yeah, Brian.
Yeah,
Patrick Barnes' YouTube has abandoned us, man.
I just tweeted out. Can someone do a wellness check on Patrick Barnes' YouTube?
He said Thursday is his big drafting day. Maybe he was actually telling the truth.
Maybe he's too rich, bro.
My Aura ring is judging me again. It said, maybe it's time to stretch your legs on my phone.
Yeah,
wow.
I did. The Apple Watch does that too.
They're done. Okay. Stupid ring.
You could just go like this.
Like, you don't know me.
Yeah, I'm curious. I would be curious your review because I've been thinking about getting off the just because of look, I just checked it right there. Like it's just a notification that I don't need to check for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll run with it. It has a couple features I think are cool. The ability to add tags throughout the day is pretty cool. I'll explain that in a minute. It's saying
Neighbors.
Ooh, Neighbors and Kyler. Yeah, Neighbors and Kyler is next. I would take Neighbors first, personally. Odds the guy next to you takes Kyler seems slim.
I'm throwing it a curveball. I'm going way out of bounds.
Yeah, you are.
Took a guy who wasn't
I
even
do everything the computer says.
Jordan Addison is a classic Peter Overs at BR Jam. A classic Peter Overs at BR Jam. You cannot just draft straight off the spreadsheet, brother. You I promise you will not win that way. You cannot copy paste the Wednesday Roto Grinders unadjusted, unedited projections, draft off them and win. It does need to be more intense than that.
Okay, now it says Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, and then it says Kyler and then Tyreek, Kyler, Neighbor. It's got a lot of things it likes apparently.
All right, let's take Tyreek and see which quarterback it wants us to do in the end. I like having it estimate this.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a fun exercise because we're likely to have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're gonna have 3.
Oh, Kyler went. Did he? No, I already started him.
No.
Kyler, Darnold, and Tua. Yeah. I do like how it weighs that out.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Chip said he drafted straight off easy sheet and just shipped 40K in BR. So simple process. Not sure what else there is to explain. What if Pete's gems are just Jacoby Myers and Malik Neighbors?
That would be funny.
He just waits to see who ETR is like 2 spots higher on, and then he just ships it. Although there's a real compounding factor where, I mean, ETR has a BR tool now, so it's not even just people copy and pasting. It is just straight like they're just hiring Mike Leone for $29.99 a month to draft for them. I wonder. This would be a good one. How often are ETR subs duping each other in these games?
Yeah, or I would say more generally, what's the average correlation coefficient between two ETR
between
subs
subscribers.
drafting at the same position versus a random two drafting at the same position. So if you looked at, like, for instance, drafting first with ETR projections, like, what's the average correlation between two teams, and then what's the average between two people drafting off
two
of
people
ETR?
drafting off the same thing? Yeah, it's I bet very high. I bet like insanely high comparatively.
Yeah, comparatively speaking,
yeah.
And then what does it cost you to be overly correlated? Is the other question. Like,
if the projections are really that much better, maybe it doesn't even cost you that much.
Well, there's a point there where that's the trade-off, right?
Yeah.
We're waiting for the next guy's quarterback pick. Who will he take?
It might be Tua. No, Jaden Daniels. All right.
He takes Jaden. Okay, so we have all of our choices, and they're off to the races. So far, I have Murray winning, Darnold in second, then Richardson, then Tua. Boy, it does not like Tua.
It does not like Tua.
Kyler, Darnold, Richardson, Tua is the ordering. It's close between Kyler and Darnold, so I would say, given that we've seen very few people taking Kyler, I would just take Kyler.
Yeah, that is interesting. We have not seen very many people taking Kyler, but he is the quarterback 6 by ADP, which is something I've noticed, Brian, over the course of the season. As I assume as the field gets a little bit sharper, or only people who are into theory, maybe not even sharper, but people who are more into theory start drafting more, and the prize pools are a little bit smaller, you do see stuff like that. Where, like, oh, the quarterback 6 got drafted in week 2 every time. But now you're seeing the quarterback 6 get drafted like 40% of the time because people are just mixing and matching to a crazy degree.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think they should be very mixy this time. Let me see what it thinks. I think the only quarterback it thinks you should draft in 100% of drafts is Josh Allen this week. But let me check and see if that's actually true.
I think in the next BBM will definitely get a lot of good info since it's so stable, where BR switches every week. So the combo data is a lot more guessy.
Yeah. So wait, you're thinking the caddy's gonna have combo ownership for BBM?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Sick. That is cool. That is
cool. Yeah, so Josh Allen drafted 100% in my stuff in this sim. Joe Burrow 89%. Jalen Hurts 77%.
Yeah.
So it's very mixy matchy already. Sam Darnold 59, Jaden Daniels 55, Anthony Richardson 45. So, like, even, projections will change, but in my stuff, the quote unquote QB6 is drafted less than half the time, right? So that's a lot of mix and match.
I think basically from week 1 until now, the market has started to emulate that more than it was.
Yeah.
Because the market has shrunk. Basically, because the market has shrunk. Tail as old as time. Yeah. All right, Brian, talk about your dupes video that's out on Endgame, and then let's wrap it up.
I did a video on some ideas on how to handle dupes in various sports. At Endgame, we got the round table up as well on there for people who haven't seen that. Me and Dan are going to do a part 2 to the dupes eventually here when we both get time. And next week, Davis, I'm out. So if you guys want to do the show yourself, but day after Christmas, I doubt you're doing it on Christmas.
I'm thinking probably we'll take a day off next week.
Yeah. But if you want to get a Patreon Takecast in here, Davis, at some point.
Yes.
Not today, but you can let me know.
Yeah, we'll get a Christmas Day episode out or something.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Check out the Endgame Syndicate and the Draft Caddy, which was that overlay tool that I up while we were drafting. And we'll be back, I suppose, for week 18. Adios. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated.